I'm here with Tim Greer, and there's going to be a debate that's going to go on. What are the dates, Tim?
It is December the 2nd, Mount Juliet, Tennessee. It is a flat Earth biblical cosmology debate that most of y'all have already heard about, but we want to give a few updates. We've got a lot of social media folks that we know that are going to be there, so we're thinking about doing a meet and greet on the Friday evening before, which would be the 1st, December the 1st. If everything works out, we should be able to have it either at the Hilton Garden Inn, or there's plenty of little restaurants around there in Mount Juliet. But we'll update that, and we want to make sure that everybody can come out and meet. You said Kim's daughter is going to be there.
There's a lot of, Donna Clement, they're going to be there. They're going to, they're attending the event, but I'll talk to them. I'm sure they'll come to the meet and greet. There's a lot of surprise guests coming to this event. There's just a lot of people interested in the event itself. So the debate is between, as I understand it, Dean Odle, who's written books on this, and it's kind of in the spirit of Rob Skiba. And I knew Rob before he passed away, and also Greg Locke, who everyone knows
at Global Vision Church, and so this will be at Greg Locke's church. It's a large, it's a very large church. I'm not sure what it holds, but you probably want to go ahead and book your hotel rooms. I know that at other events at Greg's, I've been to at least one. I've been to 2 speaking events where Greg was there, including one that had Dean Odle and Greg Locke at it, and you were there. You were one of the funders of putting together the event. So this happened. So there'll be a meet and greet on Friday night, December the 1st. There will be We'll announce the location. We'll just have to keep up with us on mine and your social media. But what we'll do is when we find a location, it may be at the Hilton Garden Inn. There's a big lobby and they've got a restaurant there. But I guess we need to get that okay with them. But there's plenty of places to do it at.
And it's at Greg Locke's church. This begins at 6 p.m. on Saturday, December 2nd, I believe. It's my understanding, or it's rumored, that LT from And We Know will probably be there. I say probably because it sounds to the wind that he'll be there. He's an incredible man. So those of you that are fans of LT.
What about the folks from...
there's going to be a lot of people there.
Flyover Conservative.
Well, there's going to be. You just come on out. I think that I think a lot of people have interest in this in this topic because there's a lot of feeling that these terms like trust the science in a lot of respects are. I think both sides, even Locke's.
I think you need to make that point is that we've been lied to so much that we can't trust anybody.
Both sides are going to do their best. It's my understanding from Greg Locke's folks. He of course does a Sunday meeting morning, and all of the same people will be there. Greg's been very hospitable about the event. There's some. I think the debate will actually be a bit heated on both sides, which makes it more fun. But Tim. Okay. So here's how this began: is that Tim Greer had put out. Tim very much believes this is a subject that I used to get in arguments with Rob Skiba, really heated arguments with Rob Skiba about. So I actually understand Greg Locke's sentiments and feelings towards it, and I'm going to lay it to these men's hands. So I know that Tim has been putting his presentation together. And Greg Locke, who I've met on a couple of occasions, he's putting his presentation together, and I think both sides are going to do their best to make their case. And I'm actually excited to.
I think that Dean, there's been prophecies over Dean, and I think that he is the most qualified person on the planet.
Yes.
For him to debate this. He's wrote the books, and nobody comes to this truth overnight. What you got to do is you got to see the proof laid out in front of you. Then you start looking around and common sense, start paying attention to how the sun moves, and everything. But my part of the whole deal is going to be the indoctrination, how we got to this point. You know, who put that globe in every classroom in the world? Why did they have Universal Studios? Why did they have a logo in the 1920s of a globe spinning around before we even really knew that we had a globe? So Hollywood is basically NASA, Hollywood, the Catholic Church. They're all in on this together, and it goes right to the indoctrination of our schools. You know, you understand that. We'll get on that on stage. But
so this is for me. This will be one of the unusual occasions that I get to watch other people debate something out. So I'm actually excited for that, and I'll tell you. Let me tell you another thing here that I really with Robski. One of the things that kind of affect. Well, let me start with this. That Tim put up a $10,000 prize money if someone could demonstrate to Tim that the Earth was round. This was
spinning.
It was spinning.
Yep.
Okay, sorry, I got that wrong. Those are two separate things, by the way.
That's right.
So those are two separate arguments. There are quite a lot of people out there that debate whether we're spinning or whether the planets are spinning. So they're going to be presenting that. And Tim's $10,000 prize, if you will, is someone could demonstrate it was spinning. And that still stands out there.
It is over 2 years old.
It sat there for 2 years, and Greg Locke, this really choked his spirit, and he thought, Tim, I'm going to take you up on your offer. I'm going to triple down, and I'm going to make it $30,000. That's how this debate culminated. It started with Tim Greer's post for $10,000 over whether or not the Earth was spinning, and if someone could demonstrate that.
That's right.
And I actually don't. I mean, I've heard arguments about this. I'm waiting for their presentations. So on Greg Locke's side, he's going to be arguing. He's going to be arguing on the other side of it, and I'm excited to watch it. It's December 1st. That's Friday night. That'll have a meet and greet. Oh, it's on the 2nd is the actual event. The meet and greet is on the 1st.
6 o'clock, Global Vision Bible Church, Mount Juliet, Tennessee.
Mount Juliet, that means right outside of Nashville. So anywhere that you stay, there are hotels by the airport that you can stay at, and you're not very far away. I've stayed there before, around the airport, and gone to Greg Locke's church. Very enjoyable services. Tim and Greg Locke are very good friends, and we're hoping that at the end of this...
And the debate, actually, what he done is he challenged Dean.
Okay.
He challenged Dean, and then Dean can bring anybody he wants to bring with him. And I don't know exactly who all Dean's got lined up. And basically, my deal is the redneck version of common sense of we're not spinning.
Well, there's a lot of people that are becoming. I would state that a lot of these feelings come from people large agencies, whether they be in medicine, whether they be in whatever field, that are multi-billion-dollar industries, have told so many lies that it's culminated in other people stating, we want to look at these things ourselves.
Yep.
And we'd like to look at them ourselves, and also can we demonstrate things, whether it be this way or that, without those agencies, is kind of the thing. And by the way, I think that's a healthy thing, because I began thinking about that myself.
We're not allowed to go look. Me and you are not allowed to look at the evidence.
Yeah, how would I demonstrate whether or not the Earth is spinning or what the shape of the Earth was without reliance on a larger...
Exactly.
So no matter what the answers come to, or who goes which way or what, at the debate, I began thinking about that and thinking, a kid in school should have a foundational way. No. So, and that applies whether you are doing... This is a heavy farming community. So I've been with Tim today. He's taken me on 4-wheelers we've driven through, where we're looking at springs where water comes literally out of the rocks and will run into the rivers, which ultimately make run into the streams, which ultimately make the larger rivers, or significant portions thereof, that run into your oceans. So, and these are things that we saw today on video that I was totally shocked at, things that Tim could show me just out here if you're in the farming areas. And a lot of people that learn how to live off of the land, most of the kids in the schools, number one, it goes well beyond what the shape of the earth is. They wouldn't know how to feed themselves if something went down. I began thinking about this. How would a kid coming out of even a university know how to do what the kids out here can do?
What we've seen guys doing on the side of the road today.
On the side of the road, if things actually just hit the fan, you know what I mean? And they wouldn't. None of that is there. And a lot of the education that's given, and this is a mute to the topic of the shape of the earth, you're trusting large agencies a lot of times with pretty much everything, honestly, that have demonstrable. How you culminate with debates like this one and challenges like Tim's is that people feel like they've been lied to so hard by large agencies that they're stating, we don't even believe you on the shape of the earth. That's a pretty, imagine the gravity or the weight of somebody looking at agencies that are funded in the millions of dollars, not a month, not a week, but a day, in some cases even an hour. It's
just like the FBI.
It's that kind of a guzzle of cash flow, and you can't even, what Tim's stating is, I don't even trust you on the shape of the earth, guys. We're going to have to go look at this ourselves.
Yeah.
That's a pretty heavy, and that's a mute to what you come out with in the end. That's a pretty heavy indictment of these agencies. And also what I have found with people is that you're really making arguments of, did they lie to you this much or did they lie to you this much? But either way, if somebody lied to you, it's hard to trust them. And this...
Well, here's the one thing that Greg's standing on. He says that the moon landing was fake. Mm-hmm. So that means that Greg said that on stage. He said, I know the moon landing's fake, but this whole spinning earth deal is not a lie. So how can you say that they lied to us that much and trust what they have to say?
Well, so one of the things in the different prophecy people that I've listened to in my life and the beliefs that I have is that you're going to enter some days ahead where it says there'll be new men and women that will raise up in science. And I think this has less to do with this is what I think, is that this would include breakthroughs in your medical fields, and possibly stuff that people have known for a long time. It's just been held from you because it's not profitable to, if you got a way to cure something, it only costs a few dollars, versus if you've got a way to do it that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. Anyhow, the debate, and this will be a good debate. Tim is going to be there. There's going to be a meet and greet of all sorts of cool people, and I think it's just going to be, in fact, in the time frame that we're in, there's a lot of heaviness. I think this will actually be one of the more relaxing things to watch.
It's pretty incredible
clawed out
the way the Lord works, because if you think about this, this is a debate, but who in the world would fill their church with a few thousand people that are there to prove him wrong?
There are many people that believe that. So that's what we've got for you. We've got a variety of different things, and I've also made some clips with Tim because there's a vast array of other things also that I've walked.
Yeah, this is just
Tim.
a drop. This is just a drop in the bucket of the truth that is coming out. Another thing that we probably need to cover while we're on here is Trey Smith Uncensored. You have got the best record of YouTube in the world for putting out truth and not being banned or broken or whatever the case may be, or you understand. And now we're getting to the point to where we see that this truth that we're going to be revealing is not going to Facebook and YouTube are not going to be able to are not going to let us put it out there. Let's just say that. And we've got to figure out a system to where we can do this, and you have to come to a site to look at it. Now, on that site, if I ain't mistaken, they can take a video and share it, right?
Yeah, so I would phrase it more like this, Tim. That just over time, I've just sort of been careful. I've seen and read what they're, my dad used to tell me to choose your battles wisely, which is why I'm not picking a side on this thing we're doing. This is you guys, and I'm going to enjoy it. But I'm also careful. If I've got things that are, I do. People claim I do Christian videos, but they really are viewer discretion advised. They might be too cool for their services in some points, and I know that when they are, and I stick them somewhere else. But But I tell you, it's been an honor to hang out with Tim today. I've also hung out with Dean Odle, and I've also hung out with Greg Locke. I'm very thankful to all of these. They're incredible men. So behind us here, we're in Arkansas, and Tim goes back and forth between here and South Carolina, where he's always working on stuff. So basic things that people use, like containers and shipping materials and housing and the sort, and a lot of it revolves around a lot of it not in a sales way, like people with food buckets, or not that kind of thing, but literally people living off of the land and making wise decisions.
Yep.
And I've learned a lot from that. Actually,
Yep.
Tim,
There's a lot of people moving here. It's like there's a calling here, including yourself.
The cartels used to state that the cell phones were the devil. And sort of Tim's philosophy, if you will, is that, and they state that because if they're trying to get across the border or run their drugs or whatever, and I'm just stating that they call it the devil, because when they end up getting caught, it's generally because the cell phone was watching and listening. Yep. And all that. So in the Bible it says to be wise as serpents and gentle as doves. And I think a lot of the Christian community has, in any arrangement that you're in, no matter how large or small something is, you really need to be able to question it. Am I being told the truth? These are real basic things, and this would apply in all. In fact, the foundation of science is not trust the science, it would be question the science, because that's what science is. Yep. Science is when you look at things and you examine them, and by the way, they get modifications to them. So even if you find something and it's right, let's say, in any scenario, I'll find stuff that I believed years ago that will turn out to be wrong in a vast array of stuff.
That's right.
Particularly in medicine, particularly in, there's a lot of political things that I used to believe that I sure don't have a lot of trust for those people. But this event is going to be, so I would recommend you get there on the 1st. The hotel's probably many of them you're going to find are booked. There's
plenty you can still go in Nashville.
Well, yes, absolutely. But right there around the call now. So, and the event is actually free, correct? This is first come, first serve.
Free event.
So, except for the $350 tickets, which I've got.
Me.
I've got. No, we're kidding with you on that. The event is free.
It's 100% free. What's crazy is the biggest. Let's just call it flat Earth event is not put on by a flat earther. You understand?
Right. Biggest.
This is the biggest flat Earth debate event in history, where thousands of people are going to show up.
Yeah.
And we're going to debate this on stage, and it was put on for free, and by a person that is not a flat earther. Pretty incredible stuff.
It's going to be an interesting. It's going to be an interesting thing, and but it's an honor to be here, to be here with Tim, and we also saw some cool stuff today that we're going to be uploading.
We'll keep you updated. We'll in the next week or so we'll pat this down on a meet and greet for all the social media people that'll be there, and we'll probably do some live videos from there. So. We just want to give you a little update with Trey. He's here in the Ozarks with me, and we're going to keep on keeping on. Y'all have a great day.